Well, good afternoon here from sunny Cuenca. We had a couple of cool days and now we are back in the temperatures that I love. And I must say, we're up here with the elevation and the UV rays, I think, are a little bit stronger. So I'm being mindful of my skin. But I am loving the glow. Baby, get into the skin, as in my Tabitha Brown voice. Get into it against this elevation and UV ray situation here. But I wanted to come on really quickly with an update about how I'm feeling today on this healing journey. We are moving into the last step in the healing modality. So we're going out again this evening to celebrate our milestone. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about exhaustion in not only the healing process, but when you sit and take stock of the traumas that you have experienced, whether that is things that happened to you or the ways in which you showed up, where you were a part of your own traumatic event because of your unhealed wounds, there is a level of exhaustion that can take root. For me, it felt like a tiredness that was down in my bones, that I just didn't really think about until I guess it was last week when I talked about the levels of energy that I have experienced as I have sat and processed my emotions associated with traumas in my life and made room for grief. It created this energy. But then today I sat and thought about the levels of exhaustion. And I can remember times when I felt like there was just not enough sleep that I could get to bring me to a place of feeling rested when I woke up in the morning. There was not enough meditation or quiet time that could resolve the level of exhaustion that I was experiencing. And today it hit me in this process. Two things I will focus on that I believe were major contributors to my exhaustion. And now I feel very free of those things. And so the first thing is being silenced. From childhood, not being in safety, and then bringing that into other relationships, just not being able or being courageous or feeling safe enough to voice my concerns, to ask my questions, to make my desires known, to make my needs known. Or making them known and having them be ignored, and then later you just silence it, you stuff it down. And for me, that was really just minimizing a part of myself, a part of my actual who I am at the core of me, like shape-shifting into somebody else. Unable to speak my truth, unable for fear or again just complacency because of so much disappointment, so much trauma. I began to not even voice anything that was going on with me. You just keep on putting on layers. And I recognized that was exhausting, hiding, running, trying to become somebody else, getting on the verge of saying something, but whoa, pulling it back. The energy that it takes in that kind of tap dancing or, like I said, shape-shifting is exhausting. And the other thing I would say is secrets. You know, as women particularly, we not only sometimes have our own secrets, because again, of that first thing, will I be believed about what has happened to me? Will I be supported if I tell this thing? We have our own secrets that we are keeping, but a lot of times we're keeping secrets for other people's comfort, for other people's benefit, for, again, the facade of a life. So we're keeping, I'll say me, I was keeping secrets of my own and secrets to protect other people, and that has been weighty. That has been part of this exhaustion that I have felt. You're talking about lifelong holding secrets in. You know, and this is not about big exposés or trying to come after someone, but it is in this process for me, in a lot of cases with some of these things, the first time having someone witness those deep, dark secrets that I have held, again, about things that have happened to me, things I have done, ways other people have harmed me. And that is freeing and life-giving and energy producing. You know, you release that stuff. And so for me, that connection of energy and exhaustion, I thought was an important thing to share today. The last thing I'll leave you with is understanding the types of rest that you might need as you are healing. I came across the work of Dr. Saundra Dalton many years ago. She has a book entitled Sacred Rest, where she talks about the 7 types of rest. I am not going to try to commit them all right now. I don't know if I have them all memorized, but, you know, I'll go through a few that I know off the top of my head in this video. One is obviously that physical rest of sleeping, napping, physically, just coming out of motion and resting yourself, resting your nerves, as it were. But then there might be social rest, where you need to maybe take some time to yourself. You are overextended in social circles. That definitely is one I've, had to look at and thinking about what I need and connecting with my body and my spirit about what is going to give me adequate rest in this moment. Moment by moment, we need to assess what we need. Another one is creative rest, and that is one that I've embraced more and more. I've talked a little bit in other videos about embracing play as a way to reconnect with my body. Some of the traumas I've experienced really have me totally disconnected from my physical body, and so that creative rest has been instrumental in reconnecting with my body and alleviating the exhaustion of playing roles, of what it takes to be disconnected from your body, right? It takes energy. Even though it's a survival mechanism, it takes energy to step out of who you are and try to become something else. And for me, being numb to things, being calm under pressure when I really wanted to explode, when I really wanted to, come at somebody's neck, but choking back. words and fitting into a picture. So this creative rest, whether it is like I did last night, go out and hear some wonderful jazz music and do my amazing chair dancing that I did, that's part of rest for me and recovering, this embodiment in my body. That is part of my rest. I think another one she talks about is mental rest. And that might be, again, if you are like me, someone who can be in their head a whole lot with overthinking, with, other ways that you are, researching, reading, before you make a decision. I will have research down, baby. That is exhausting. And so sometimes I have to just take a mental rest and lean more into, impromptu things. It does not come naturally to me to do those impulsive things. I know many times impulsivity is seen as a negative, but that's where, again, it's about assessing what you need. I am a person that needs to lean into impulsivity, because that overthinking is another trap. It's another prison. It's another thing that will exhaust me. And again, it's tied to, in many cases, that silencing, that secret keeping, where I had to really work on who knows what in the setting I'm going into. Got to remember, what story did we tell over here? How did we use smoke and mirrors, right, to present ourselves in this setting? It's exhausting. And as I always say, I am not a professional in any of this. I am a professional in me, my personal life experience. And so for me, that secret keeping and that silencing, I believe I have connected to my tendency to overthink situations and doubt myself. And so I am working hard on resting that mental activity that's taken too much from me, when, as I said last night on my quick update, I am enjoying healing in midlife because I am embracing my inner knowing. And so that's what I have. I need to get ready for a meeting that I need to jump on in 2 minutes, but I wanted to really come on and share while all that was fresh on my mind. Again, if you would like to know more about the 7 types of rest, you could just Google. It's free. You can Google it. Google that. Google Saundra Dalton, Dr. Saundra Dalton, or other, people have information about that work and those 7 types of rest. So as always, thank you for watching. And I hope wherever you are, that you are taking time to invest in you. And if you are like me and you feel like you cannot get enough sleep, you wake up every day before your feet hit the floor saying, "Whoo, I'm tired," maybe it's not physical rest. So go get you some healing, go find you some rest, and alleviate that bone deep exhaustion if that is you. Take care. Bye.